Morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundoke, together with Reverend Yutaka Yamada. Today is Thursday, the 9th of March, 2023, or the 13th of February in the 11th year of Chongnil. So let's begin, as always, with a bow to our true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. Kyombe. Paro. Let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English. Thank you.
가전맨세 4. 전국 주인 우리 가족은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 찬조 이사인 천주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 4. Our family, the owner of Chongnil, pledges to build the universal family encompassing heaven and earth, which is the Heavenly Parent's ideal of creation, and perfect the world of freedom, peace, unity, and happiness by centering on true love. I'd like to ask Janine Helen if she could offer the opening prayer, please.
Okay, let's go. Our loving Heavenly Parent, true parent of heaven, earth, and humankind, we're really grateful to come before you this morning to begin this day. And each day, Heavenly Parent, that we can come together to greet you and to connect with your heart through our true parents and through the things that we share with each other. We don't have to look very far around us, Heavenly Parent, to see evidence of the fall, and we are just really grateful that we can be a part of building your heavenly kingdom, that we can be living at this precious time in history, and that each day is so precious to do things to make the world better and to be better people for you, Heavenly Parent. We want to offer this day and offer this time, Hundoke now, and you can speak to us and help us to grow closer to you. And we offer this time for this prayer in the name of Leif and Janine Helen, and on behalf of all our blessed central families. Adieu.
Adieu. Thank you. And let's give a warm welcome to Reverend Yutaka as he shares with us this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining today's morning Hundoke. Today also the beautiful day. Let's put our concern and heart and also go together with our heavenly parents and true parents. Yesterday it was the breakout session. So did you have a good discussion time and sharing time? Yes, because of also the SBS TV program. Now also many people is giving the feedback to Reverend John, I believe. So Reverend John organized well and the feedback to the TV station side. So those program is also important. We will learn and also how we can share the message to the people or write message to the people. This is important things. So thank you for all our brothers and sisters' prayer and effort. So today, let's continue our Hundoke, Global Unity through True Parents. Now our topic is this, God, women, and the world peace. Mother is explaining about story about Tamar determination, and also the person who are born from that lineage, the Mary, and also we could see the Joseph determination in life, and the John the Baptist. When we see the central figure in the providence or history, there are big expectation and also the responsibility, and they are born on this earth. What was the mission and responsibility for the John the Baptist at that moment? John the Baptist was born on this earth to prepare the road for the Messiah, and if he meet the Messiah, he have to go together and he have to support together for Messiah and God's will. But he could not recognize his will and mission by his wisdom, and he went to the different way with Jesus Christ. So because of that, even God prepared the 2000 years foundation for welcoming the Messiah or Jesus Christ, but those foundation was not connected to our Jesus. And finally, he went to the way of crucifixion. So always when we see even ourselves, we should not see from my personal point of view. Always we have to try to see myself or see the everything from God's point of view. What is your plan? What is your hope? And what is your will through those things? Then we can find and we can get also the answers. So today, let's continue to the next part. So Dr. Joshinta, please.
A dream unfulfilled. This Cain-Abel unity would have laid the foundation for the marriage supper of the Lamb. Jesus would have stood as the true father of humanity, and his bride would have stood as the true mother. In less than 7 years, his teachings would have expanded rapidly to the world, winning Asia and Rome to his side before he reached the age of 40. Eventually, as true parents, Jesus and his bride would have achieved the individual heavenly kingdom, family heavenly kingdom, clan heavenly kingdom, and national heavenly kingdom.
Yes, thank you very much. So Mada is explaining about the age at the Jesus time. So that Jesus time also God prepared the foundation. There was a foundation which was prepared by God, and Jesus Christ could be the true parents, and he could fulfill the God's ideal of creation at that moment. Already preparation was there in the world level also. So that time, the Rome was already famous and bigger country, and also it was said Roma's road would be connected to the end of the world. So civilization was developed. And through the Silk Road, eastern side and western side was connected. The Europe side and China side also has the relationship already. And at that moment, the many religion was appeared, centering on Confucius, the Confucian, right? Confucius religion is coming out, and the centering on the Buddha, the Buddhist also appeared, this China area or India area. So religious culture was developed at that moment already. Then people are receiving the education or guidance spiritually. So they grow up internally also. That's why at that moment, if centering on John the Baptist, all Jewish people are already united. So these Jewish people, if they could unite with Jesus Christ, then they could also stand on the foundation of the Roman Empire and already could connect to Eastern society or this another religious society, and finally to the parents, our Jesus Christ and bride could fulfill the heavenly tribe, heavenly nation, and heavenly world at that moment. Jesus Christ already could see those foundation, preparation, and plan at that moment. Okay, please.
However, this glorious destiny could not be realized. It was the religious people themselves who rejected Jesus' words and called for his crucifixion. Confronted by the disbelief of Israel, Jesus determined to give his life to achieve spiritual salvation for humankind. However, he knew that Christ would have to come again in order to bring physical salvation on earth, in addition to spiritual salvation.
Yes, but Jewish people could not recognize our Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ's identity or mission itself. Actually, he is the one who tried to liberate Jewish people or Israelites themselves. He is the one who liberate or savior, but they put him to the cross or crucified. Okay, please.
As a result of Jesus' death on the cross, the conflict between supporters of left-wing and right-wing ideologies appeared, echoing the two thieves who were crucified with him. This is similar to the separation between Cain and Abel that resulted from Adam's fall. Likewise, Islam and Christianity appeared and began struggling. Because such separation was caused by the crucifixion of Jesus, Christ will work for the unity of these divisions at the time of the second coming.
Yes. So at the moment that Jesus Christ time, there was the opportunity to unite all human beings, all religion, all races, and all nations at that moment. But our side, a human being rejected that. Human being didn't accept this opportunity, our Jesus Christ and God's providence. That's why centering on the cross, all world was divided again, and cross was also starting point to division or restoration providence again. So how much this moment was sad and how much our God was sad at that moment. Please.
Why unity is inevitable. God's preparation for the second advent required a world-level foundation of successful Cain-Abel reconciliation. This dispensation was carried out through the events surrounding World War II. The Allied countries of Britain, the United States, and France represented Christianity and were in the position of Abel. The Axis countries of Germany, Japan, and Italy practiced nationalistic militarism and stood in the position of Cain. This war represented the expansion of the conflict between Cain and Abel to the world level.
Yes, so after Jesus Christ's crucifixion, 2000 years has passed. So during that period, how heaven prepared and what kind of providence heaven had been leading in this history and this world. God tried to unite again this divided world into one, centering on Christianity. And God guided this kind of providence. So centering on this foundation, Messiah or second advent could stand. So those preparation was already settled in this world level. Please.
Immediately after the Allied victory, great strides were made toward creating a world of peace guided by Christianity, with Britain in the position of Eve on the world level, and the United States and France representing Abel and Cain respectively. The Allied nations stood united in the position ready to receive the Lord of the second advent. During this preparation, God's dispensation was not fulfilled. Despite this preparation, God's dispensation was not fulfilled at that time. God's representative came to bring God's word, yet he was met with tremendous persecution and almost universal misunderstanding. This paralleled Jesus' situation 2,000 years earlier. Just as the people of Israel in Jesus' time were awaiting the coming of Elijah on a chariot in the clouds, Christians awaited the second coming by expecting Jesus himself to come on the clouds.
Yes, thank you. So what kind of things was happened that moment? Christianity itself also repeated the same mistake like Jewish people before 2000 years. So they could not recognize the real mission or the Messiah's mission or second advent mission. So even second advent was here. And those central figure of the Christianity at that moment, they received many signs. They received many liberation. And heaven directly guided them the meaning of who true Father is, who second advent is. But because of the pride, because of feeling, finally they could not accept our second advent, and finally all foundation was lost. So maybe we also learned many times the meeting moment between our true father and also spiritual Christianity group and the leaders. So we could learn contextually later, but because of the all leaders unfulfillment mission, those foundation was lost. So through the things we could see once again, our John the Baptist is also same. He was the representative of all Jewish people. And also our 1945, the Christian leaders, they are also the representative of all Christianity. Maybe there are many righteous persons in the Christian group and history and also the religion. They are already waiting for. But if central figure could not fulfill, what's happened? Even another group are already ready. They are already could work together. But if those central figure could not fulfill, even another person didn't do anything, but all providence will be gone. That's why how much the central figure's position or role or responsibility is really important. Okay, please.
In the book of Revelation, Jesus reveals to John the Divine that he will come with a new name. Revelations 3:12. This foreshadowed that Jesus would come again through another man, just as Elijah returned through the person of John the Baptist. At this crucial time after World War II, God instructed my husband to bring a new message of truth to Christians in Korea. Korean Christian leaders, however, rejected the possibility that he, a humble young man, had been chosen to bring this new message. They could not believe that the Lord at his second coming would be born as a man on earth, any more than the people could believe it at the time of Jesus.
Yes, so same mistake was repeated at that moment. Please.
If the Christian churches had united with my husband, the heavenly kingdom already would have been established on earth as well as in the spiritual realm. During the 7-year period from 1945 to 1952, which marked the end of World War II and of the New Testament age, the entire world could have united in accordance with the providence of God.
Yes, that's why how much Christianity is important and how much God invested and prepared for that. And also at the moment in 1945, the victorious moment of the world level, how much that moment was the critical and the important moment and how much it was a serious time. We could once again recognize and learn this point again. So Yamada, in this Women's Federation conference and even another conference time, continuously Yamada is proclaiming and sharing the truth of the history and also telling the real mission of the Christianity and the position of the John the Baptist and also the wife's position or bride position. Those our Christianity's role, Yamada continuously share and testify. And Yamada, she is the one who stood representative of the Christianity or John the Baptist and wife's position and testify our true father, testify the second coming of the Messiah, and stand as the true parents. So we could see those history, how we could recognize the mission and the meaning of this moment, and that's this providential time period. Then we could fulfill God's will and also God's mission together. So next, I'd like to share the word of Chon Sung-gyeon. So now Chon Sung-gyeon side, we are leading also the Father's Life course, through love, through life, and through lineage. Through the history, God is continuously waiting and preparing for the Messiah, and the true parents also is fulfilling this mission. What is our identity? Our identity is the son and daughter of God. That's why there is also the God's nature in ourselves, inside of ourselves. Because of human fall, the relationship with God was cut. But meeting the true parents, we can go back again. we can restore the identity again, and we can recognize this real identity of God or real identity of ourselves. So let's continue. Please read.
Restoration through indemnity entails recovering the state of innocence that was lost. Two groups appeared in order to unite what was separated into Cain and Abel, centered on the mother. The mother and father on Satan's side fought with the mother and father on heaven's side. The means to settle this was the Second World War. That is how the world formed one global realm. Originally, God's love was to have been connected to true parents' love, God's life to true parents' life, and God's lineage to true parents' lineage.
Yes, so this Chonsongyon side, True Father is explaining about parents, mother and child cooperation. When Cain and Abel lamb unite together, then God's love, God's life, God's lineage will be connected, centering on our true parents. Yeah, please.
However, these connections were not made. Humankind abandoned that standard. Satan planted his root next to it, seized everything, and sprouted his shoots. Those shoots need to be severed. There, with the new true parents at the center, the connection must be made once again, establishing the realm of resurrection of the tree of life. To accomplish this, everything of Satan's must be cut off, and human beings must be engrafted to the original standard.
So we will establish this standard again and restore this standard again. Please.
When it is said that Jesus is coming again, it means Christ is coming as the true parent of humankind. That is, he comes as the original root of true life and true lineage, founded on true love, in oneness with God. Through him, all people need to return to the true lineage and make the condition of reconnecting and engrafting to the true lineage. In other words, the returning Jesus must reconnect humankind to God's lineage.
Yes, Father is also emphasizing about the God lineage. So when we accept or receive the second advent of Jesus Christ, we will welcome the moment of the conclusion or fruitful moment. Okay, please.
Unless he elevates their value to a status equal to his own by connecting them to God's love, life, and lineage, he cannot attain the goal of the kingdom of heaven. Those who can enter the kingdom of heaven are the sons and daughters of the original unfallen Adam and Eve, their descendants who are one with God through lineage. People today with the defect of a fallen lineage cannot enter the heavenly kingdom if this connection is not made.
Yes, so true parents, as the son and daughter of God, open the way for all human beings to connect to the God's lineage and open the way to enter to the kingdom of heaven. So whether it would be fulfilled or not, this is actually depends on ourselves. This is our responsibility, how we will fulfill this one and how we can deliver this message to the people. So accepting itself is actually also for the individual responsibility. Already to the parents prepared, already God prepared for everyone. So accepting or not, receiving or not, determine or not, this is everything depends on our 5% portion of responsibility. And also sharing this message to others, this is also our portion of responsibility. Please.
When the Lord of the second advent, the Savior, comes to this earth, he is the Lord. He is the Savior of love and life. Because love, life, and lineage all went off track, he comes as the Savior of true love, true life, and true lineage. Those things of the original world were lost, and they must be recovered. The effort to recover them through human history forms the history of true parents' tradition.
Yes, so our God's purpose and goal is always same, and our second advent and the Savior's purpose and goal is also same. Father said, he comes as the Savior of true love, true life, and true lineage. Those things of the original world were lost, and they must be recovered. the effort to recover them through human history forms the history of true parents tradition. That's why true parents try to establish this tradition on this world and in this also human history. Okay, please.
Who will end the battle between God and Satan? The true parents will do that. How? With true love. Their true love brings Satan to surrender. Then God and restored Lucifer will embrace each other and praise the true parents. Through the principle of true parents' true love, God is liberated, Satan is liberated, and the gates of hell are abolished. Then the bright sunlight of the kingdom of heaven's new love will permeate hell, bringing a revolution in the spirit world.
Yes, so Father is explaining about the revolution and explaining about the liberation of Satan. What is the way to liberate Satan and how to liberate even the hell? This is only the way of true love. So historical enemy, Satan or Lucifer. So what is actually the final wish to him from God and from true parents? Our God's expectation and hope and true parents' hope to Lucifer is to restore him and bring him back to in front of God and return back and create again the original ideal relationship or true love relationship with Lucifer. So this was the ideal and final hope. And actually because of true parents, it was fulfilled. I think 1999, true parents already proclaimed restoration of the Lucifer. But now even restore the head of the people or Lucifer itself, but still many evil spirits are remaining. That's why continuously this providence is going. The ancestor liberation or creating this foundation for on this earth through this process, finally restore all evil spirit, even all the physical world, and also restore the spiritual world. So this fulfillment, the creating this road is actually the providence currently, which we are doing centering on our true mother. Okay, please.
The true parents are the manifestation of true love. The true parents are the individuals in the central position who set the standard of absolute, unique, unchanging, and eternal love. This love requires a certain standard on the part of the partner. Everyone and everything needs a partner. Small things need small partners, and in their own small way, they form spheres based on subject and object partnerships. Big things also form spheres based on subject and object partnerships in their own big way. In this way, they grow into something even larger. God is the essence, so he forms a sphere that extends from the beginning to the end. The entire universe fits within the realm of his love.
Yes, so Father said that true parents are the manifestation of true love. The true parents are the individuals in the central position who set the standard of absolute, unique, unchanging, and eternal love. So what is the original ideal sphere? And what is God's ideal? And what is God's ideal plan? When we see this God's plan and God's blueprint, we could see how we will fulfill that. And who will showing this model? This is the person who is our true parents. So when true parents show us the model course and show us the final destination, then what's happened? Father said, God is the essence, so he forms a sphere that extends from the beginning to the end. The entire universe fits within the realm of his love. So all nations will be fit under God's love. That's why there is God's providence. That's why God is leading. That's why true parents came on this earth and tried to fulfill God's will. So this is the final slide, please.
True parents are the parents whose lineage is woven together with God's love and life. That is why they are called the true parents. From this point on, people who do not know the true parents will not be able to realize their full potential as human beings. The true parents are the pioneers who can perfect God's love and make God into the Lord of love. Without the true parents, God's plan to perfect love can never be fulfilled.
Yes, thank you very much. So Father said, the true parents are the pioneers who can perfect God's love and make God into the Lord of love. Without the true parents, God's plan to perfect love can never be fulfilled. So this chapter, continuously Father is explaining about God's love, God's life, and God's lineage. This ideal is not only for true parents themselves. All human beings have to go the same way. But if no one could fulfill, no one show this way, then no one could become this God's existence or God's behalf or God's children. That's why true parents the one who went through this way and to show us the way, how we can inherit God's love, God's life, and God's lineage, and how we can become ideal God's son and ideal God daughters. So we are meeting true parents and working together with them, but not only just learning, not only just inheriting, we have to become the substantialize of God's son and God's daughters, and even we have to become our true parents. So today we share the word of true father and true mother. So what's the God's providence we will fulfill, centering on our true parents. And also mother's word. Mother said, when we see the God's providence centering on Jesus Christ, centering on the second advent and the God's history, many central figures try to do their best, and also sometimes they could not fulfill their mission. That's why always this fairness is repeated. But still, in order to fulfill God's ideal, true parents came on this earth and invested and finally offered the victory. And now true mother try to conclude all providence. So when we see that 2,000 years ago, God prepared the Jesus Christ and the Jewish people. So God prepared the Jewish people for Jesus Christ to work together. And how about in 1945? God prepared Christianity in order to work together for the second advent of the Messiah. Then how about now? There is victorious true parents. And who is the one who will work together with them and fulfill God's providence? Actually, this is the unification member and our blessed family, or of course, ambassador of peace, or second generation. So each of us, how we could recognize our position and the role and our responsibility, which was given or which was expected by heaven, our heavenly parent, and we will fulfill those things. This is the really precious and the important matter. So those history is not only just existing as the history 2,000 years ago, Jewish history or their responsibility, and 1945, our Christian history or Christian life course. This is directly relating to ourselves, our brothers and sisters, how we can recognize, and also as a central figure in our family and tribe and our nation. We also realize the mission and will, and we will fulfill this God's providence together. So every moment is the precious time, how we can meet God and how we can ask God's plan to us and God's wish to each of us. Let's find this and let's inherit this and fulfill this message and God's will in this place from ourselves. So today, really beautiful day. Thank you for joining this morning devotion. Let's have a great moment and offer the happiness to our heavenly parents and true parents. Have a great day. 감사합니다.
Kamsamnida, thank you very much, as always, Reverend Yutaka, for sharing with us our true parents' heart and God's desire to see, finally the Chongyal Guk established. I was just, many things to reflect on, as always, that time period. That father and mother talk about 1945 to 1952. It really had the potential to be so very different, but it didn't happen. And I wondered, who were the key people, because the thing that I just realized again is that after the Second World War, it formed one global realm, as true mother and father are saying, and so we're really at a global level. That's why the League of Nations and the United Nations came about, because they really started to organize the world, and they still weren't united. They started to organize the world and divide the world up, and it's because of that global realm really taking hold that Korea was actually split in half, because the nations that were victorious wanted to govern, and everyone had a standard. And we know they need to be engrafted to the original standard, but because true parents weren't brought to the world stage by Christianity, and had to start from the very bottom, and the same parallel that Jesus went through, our true father had to endure, and was crucified, but was able to survive the crucifixion, physically and spiritually. And we have our unification movement, as we know, but it wasn't meant to be. It was meant to be just received. But history repeated itself, but we have the victory. And the other statement that caught my mind was, heaven is only for children of unfallen Adam and Eve. And of course that's obvious. I mean, heaven, sometimes easy to confuse heaven with just spirit world, but heaven really is the ideal fulfilled. And so it can only be with original people, unfallen Adam and Eve, and unfallen children, the children that are truly connected with their parents and truly connected with our heavenly parents. And we still have the spirit world is still, I believe, in many different levels, because of all the different states that the people who passed away entered spirit world. Because we are our own judges, so we go to our own designated area that we formulated. And I don't think I don't seem to fully grasp how that spirit world dynamic works, how we just go to where we are in our physical state, and so when I'm reflecting on heaven is only for the children of unfallen Adam and Eve, it really impressed on me again just how important it is, to solve it here on earth, and not to find ourselves in a place that we are stuck. I still remember because I used to work at Balmain Hospital for a couple of years when, 1920s, when I was 19 or 20, not the year 1920. I remember seeing many people die, and it being caught by this experience of seeing the faces of people who had just died, and almost all of them just had this surprise, shock expression on their face, and babies, it just looked like they were asleep, but adults, who were aware, fully aware of things, too many times they just had this surprise and shock on their face, and I imagined that they were seeing the spirit world, and they were seeing where they were going, and it's not anything that they expected in any form. It was just a surprise, and so I don't know their religious background or their true faith, because it really ultimately comes down to what we truly believe, what standard we really live by. Because we know that the way to restoration is for us and humanity to be engrafted to the original standard, as Father said, and that can only happen when we are blessed. But the blessing is not in one way, it's something that's given to us, but it's also our responsibility, our promise. So the extent of that standard, because that's what the blessing represents. It represents the standard of God, which is God's true love, true life, and true lineage. So it's up to us to embody that standard. And I believe that's part of the meaning of vertical alignment, that we only have the standard, and we don't doubt it, and we embrace it, and it becomes our very bone marrow, that it becomes just our original nature blossoms, because the original standard is finally being followed. So just reflecting like that about how much personally and as a group we are following that standard, since we are all blessed here. And I still, when I hear that quote from St. Paul, that talks about his mind is following heaven, but his flesh is following another law. I look at myself, and I still see that happening within me. Even though blessed, even though I believe I'm following the original standard, but obviously I still don't. And how much I push to understand the standard. So that's why Hundoke is very valuable, that we do this every morning together, and that we can listen to Father and Mother's words and connect, which we need to do every day. And I find it that I'm a bit sorry that I have to say to myself, I have to reconnect. Why can't I just connect and stay connected? Why do I have to always reconnect? And it just means that, during the day, instead of being vertical, I sort of float to the left or the right or whichever direction. And then in the morning, gotta re-float back to the center, as to say. Anyway, I don't know if others have similar sort of experience of, but anyway, they're my thoughts for today. So thank you, everyone, and open it up to others who'd like to share. Thank you. Yes, Margaret, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. It struck me this morning with Father's words, especially without true parents, humans cannot perfect love. And in Christianity, the kerygma, or the going statement that one believes is DBR, or death, burial, and resurrection. That's the key faith, is you have to believe in Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection. And contrasting it with Father's words that without true parents, humans cannot perfect love. So this is a revolutionary statement. And one that I think about is, how do I break through in bringing people to transcend this DBR concept? And I find that carrying True Parents books in the car wherever I go helps, because whenever there is an opportunity to give someone a book, is already in my mind is a way to begin this dialogue, because it is such a shocking thing when people hear that, oh, who is this man? Those who have not heard, who is this man or who is this woman? And recently, we had our in the tribal Messiah gathering of my family for one of our cousins who live in the Marshalls. Marshall Island, came to Palau, and we had a big gathering to meet him. And when we gave him Mother's book, he said, "Oh, this is Mrs. Moon. I remember when they came to the Marshall Islands." And so it was such a nice feeling to realize that I had no idea that he knew that Father and Mother came to the Marshall Islands. And it so happened to be that his wife is the eldest daughter of former President Note. That's why he knows, because President Note gave true parents a welcome with a police escort from the airport. So it was a big deal to the Marshall Island people. So you never know who you meet that already have been informed about your parents. So I immediately asked him, how are you and your wife doing? He said, well, you know, they're Catholics and I'm Protestant. And I said, if we come to the Marshall Islands, can we give you the blessing? In Reverend Moon's movement, we bless people regardless of their religion. Oh, that will be great. We haven't been able to solve this problem in our marriage. So I think that really True Mother is calling upon us to keep saying, proclaim, declare, and we need to go over our, at least I know I have to go over my fears every day when I carry father or mother's book. So one of our new outreach place is the president's family in Palau opened a new super center, and they have a beautiful gelato shop that is so huge because it's going to be a food court. So I thought, okay, we're going to bring your parents' books and Divine Principle books and lay them on the table while we're having our ice cream and do some reading and see if we can attract some people to the table. As one Japanese sister did in Los Angeles, going to the university and just go and read the Divine Principle. And that's how she got the following to create a strong carp in LA. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Margaret. Thank you. Yeah. Sounds like you are very brave. So anyone else would like to make a comment before we? Yes, Randall, go ahead. I need to unmute, sorry.
Thanks for that, Margaret. That's I also had the experience where I went to an interfaith meeting, and at one stage they asked for questions or comments, and I was saying, yeah, the whole idea of, you know, religions getting together would be great, and also to have a like a religious sphere in the United Nations, and so that the political decisions have to also understand that there has to be a moral or ethical side to it, because it has to be ratified by the religious people. And someone came up to me later and he was all excited about this, and he said, wow, you know, this is such a great idea. And I said, I'm not the original one with this idea. It's in the closing pages of the As a Peace-Loving Global Citizen. And I showed him the book, and I showed him the quote, and I said, there, just read here. And so I gave him the book, and he read that that paragraph, and he got all excited, and he says, wow, I've got to get this book. And then he says, I've already got this book. And so the way that we were giving out the books at one stage, we were getting it to the right people, of course. People that, you know, are inspired by, you know, world peace, that are inspired by making differences there. And also another way of doing this is, oh, you're a leader. You're in politics or something like that. What kind of leaders do you read about and try to, you know, use their attitude in your style of leading. This book about Reverend Moon, he went from being a penniless refugee to meeting almost every US president, since Eisenhower. And, he's done this and he's done this and he's done this. There's so many things that, his attitude towards relating to people, towards guidance, towards family, towards all these different levels. When he was speaking with Gorbachev, the leader of the Soviet Union, Russia, when he was speaking to Kim Il-sung, the original leader of North Korea, when he was talking to all these different people, this is coming through in this autobiography of his. So yeah, as a leader, you're probably looking for different books from different leaders to understand their attitude towards things. How about, would you like a copy of this book? Only $50. Okay, for you, $20. No, don't worry. I'll lend it to you if you love it, then you can buy it from me. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Randall. Thank you, everyone. It's time now for us to have our unison prayer. So I'll just share the screen and we can pray together. Okay. So let's pray. Thank you. Jew. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And I hope you all have a great day and see you all again tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye.